What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Verse Crypto channel. Today, I got a really special live stream. We're going to jump into all things PDI, all things Atropa, and we have a really special guest. Last night, we had an awesome live stream with the legendary Zach, and I'm happy to bring on a PDI legend, an OG, the man, the myth, the legend, your boy, Hodlnomics. What is up, brother? Thanks for coming on. How you doing today?
I am good, man. Thank you for the kind introduction. I'm like feeling good about myself today. So thank you for that.
Yeah, anytime, man. Believe it or not, you're one of the most requested person to come on and do a live stream with me because there's so much we need to break down from your start in crypto to the PDI pegging theory. In my opinion, based on the stuff I've seen in the past, you probably have one of the craziest stories in cryptocurrency. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, after what's been going on this month, I would have to say it's definitely up there. Like it's kind of surreal. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily understand the magnitude yet, but it's been a crazy month. Like I never thought it was ever going to lead into anything like this, or I was going to have to kind of lead the charge for anything. I was just like, hey, we're just going to get a tweet, right? And then it's like, oh, well, come to find out, like I got to kind of get out there a little bit and support the people that bought into the idea and all this stuff. It's just turned into something that I never intended or imagined, but it's crazy and I'm excited to be here. I wouldn't change it for the world. And, super excited. By the way, hi, Mom. I think my mom is watching. So
that's awesome. Shout out to Hodlnomics' mom. Awesome. So let's just start off with, your background and how you got into cryptocurrency. Like, what's your story?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So my buddy actually was big into it back in 2017, and he did really well during that bull run. So then, and he was still always trying to get me into it. And then finally, when the COVID stuff happened, excuse me, I don't know if we can say that, but the stuff happened.
Right.
They, I don't know, I just kind of, I guess, woke up, had an epiphany, and I kind of took my head out of the sand as far as like what was going on with stuff. So. And then, of course, like the one that got me into it was never Bitcoin. Bitcoin never did anything for me, or Ethereum. Of course, it was XRP, right? And if you kind of draw the line of oh my gosh, like all this stuff is going on, and then like, oh well, what's going to be the savior to that, right? Of course, and then that just kind of led to the XRP community and everything. And we don't have to get into any of that or anything. I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot while I was there. I bought during the SEC lawsuit. And gained quite a bit for 2 years. Obviously, nowhere near as much as some of the other cryptos, but I'm thankful for the experience. Learned a lot, and I'm still holding on to XRP. But that was really how I got in, and that was like I said, yeah, that 1 year, 2020, somewhere around those, and it was at the end of the cycle or maybe mid cycle, and I just had no idea, right? Like I had no idea what I was doing. Kind of held through all of it. And now I'm just really excited. And I was actually really good at it. So I actually even made a YouTube channel. I have a channel called Hodlnomics. You can go see it. The problem with it was just bad timing. I didn't know it was bad timing, but I was really good at finding tokens. I just kind of had a different perspective on things. And I was always really trying to find like the next big thing. And, some of them were actually really good. A lot of people made, solid money on it, on some of the stuff that I called. But then, of course, markets just kind of, took a nosedive. And then just kind of naturally, I stopped doing the YouTube channel. I made a couple Pulsechain videos, but I wasn't really trying to do like the find hidden gems thing. But it just kind of happened with Pulsechain. I'm excited to talk about how all that went. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started, XRP maxi. And then I came over to Pulsechain specifically for the launch.
Right. Yeah, no, that's very interesting because, XRP community is really big. And the last bull market was so interesting with the SEC lawsuit. And now that we're kind of seeing something interesting where the SEC lawsuit is getting transferred over to Pulsechain. From your experience with the XRP community, how do you think this SEC lawsuit is going to impact the Pulsechain community?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I mean, I don't believe the SEC has too much clout anymore. I mean, from what I believe, maybe they can limit pumps, but I don't even know how much they can anymore compared to back then, right? Back when there was a lot of unknowns. Now it's a completely different game. So I don't think I think it will have an impact, but I don't think it will have as much of an impact as it did for XRP. And then, of course, we've got this whole other thing going on with Atropa and PDI that just kind of really it's just a new dynamic that XRP did not have in their favor. Everything that they did was, the guys were in charge, were the front men. We got something over here that's cloak and dagger, that's kind of sneaky. And it's like, how's the SEC going to go after that, right? And so I'm still super bullish on the chain. I think that Richard Heart's kind of, stepping away, and then, the chain's still growing, and then people seeing PDI grow and all of that. And then it's just going to have more confidence for people to come in, because they're like, okay, well, hey, they don't necessarily need Richard Heart to do this. So yeah, so I'm super bullish. I mean, I'm ready to go. So I don't think it's going to affect it too much.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's a great point, because when that lawsuit started, everybody was freaking out, and then now that more projects are getting thrown down under, it's less of impact. So it's something we've seen before. So I really like that great point that you brought up. Now, moving on, you come over from the XRP community, start looking at Pulsechain, and from conversations I've had with you, you start looking at PRC 20 token copies from the Pulsechain airdrop specifically. In the Pulsechain community, this is voodoo. People like Hex, people like Pulsechain. DEGENS like us, we like to go for the shiny objects. We love the PRC 20 token airdrops. You got into a little bit of research. Can you kind of explain that process and a little history of that timeline, and how you formed a PRC 20 token research group?
Oh gosh, yeah. So this is kind of where it starts to get interesting. So I came in specifically for the pump and dump, right? I was like, okay, yeah, it's Richard Heart. He's going to do well. He did well with Hex. Like, I didn't know anything about it. I had no clue. I just knew Richard Heart was in charge. I was like, I missed Hex. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make that mistake. So I came for the pump and dump, right? The goal was to get more XRP, maybe, hold on to a little bit more on this side, but I didn't care about Pulsechain at first. So, obviously it starts to go up. I start listening to Sami, and I just kind of started to realize that this community is what really first got me started was understanding how different the community is. They kind of operate at the beat of their own drum. I don't know how to describe it, but the whole no expectations thing, I think everybody here is very, very smart, because of they've been learning from like the dude for the past years. And I had no idea, right? I thought I knew everything in XRP. And then I just come over here, and then I learned so much. So shout out to Sami. And we've had some Twitter beef and stuff before, but it's all good. all love, all for PDI, man, all for Pulsechain. But I wouldn't have stayed if not for him, like 100%. He, he gave me a new perspective on the market. And so then I stayed, and I was like, okay, obviously I put some into XRP. But then I found out maybe 3-4 weeks, and then I found out about the PRCs. I kind of had seen them and going up and down on the charts. I was super confused. And then I don't know how I figured it out. I think it was Sami again. I think Sami just kind of explained it in one of his videos, talked about how it's kind of a soft shill. He's like, yeah, he might open up ink rewards or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to research these and check it out. And then I just immediately was hooked. I was like, there's something going on here. Like, I don't know what it is, but this is kooky. Like, this is different. Never seen it. And, it just got me as my let's try to be in first before anybody else, mindset going. And I had no idea it was taboo in Hex or Pulsechain. Like, I was just like super duper gung ho. So I'm just telling everyone about it. And then, he did the farms. The farms were great. There was a Wrap BTC community as well. I was in that chat. And then what happened was Harambe dumped. So Harambe did the dump. Paulie did the dump, and they were just kind of, crapping on everything. And I realized, I was like, hey, you know what these projects need? These projects need liquidity, right? So then I made an NFT project. We can go ahead and get started. But really, the PRC Pantheon was supposed to be like I don't know if anybody even knows this, I'll just be honest. It was going to be like my little NFT side thing, but it ended up turning into PRC. Like, nobody wanted to talk about my NFTs. I tried at the beginning. It was just PRC madness. So I was like, all right, we'll talk about PRCs. That's fine. So that's how it started. It was really supposed to be for NFTs, and it happened to be like the community that was in there was like, yo, like, we're going to talk about PRCs. So they got really involved on all of them. They put liquidity, like all the different tokens. They had like liquidity charts, and we had like them in tiers. Which ones had good liquidity? Which ones didn't have liquidity? Which ones had logos, and they were just on top of it. It was public. It was public at the beginning. So we had up to, people coming in and out and stuff. And it was really just to you know, the PRC casino. That's really all it was. But we did like DAI. We liked all of the ones with the logo on everything. That was really what the whole, you know, genesis of us getting interested in DAI was the logo. And then I just had a random idea one night. I was like, oh, he's going to peg DAI with SAC funds, right? Like, it was a joke. It was a total joke. And we just kind of like ran with it. Like, we're PDAI maxis. Yeah. And like, because it was so stupid. There's just absolutely no way this could work. But, you know, we liked it. We liked it as a potential, you know, shitcoin pump and dump just because it was stupid, right? So it was a meme at that point. And but then I think it was Newt kind of started firing it off. He started finding some weird stuff with the supply going up and down. He's like, hey, how do we figure this out? And so shout out to Newt. I feel like he was really the main one, at least in our group, that started it. So then he started doing some more research. And then what he did is he found 9 Iron Capital. So 9 Iron Capital wasn't even a part of our group. And by this time we had made it private. We like had really good PRC alpha. And so we were like, hey, we're going to make this private. We want believers in here. We don't want any fudders. So it kind of whittled down to like 90 people over time. I think it's like 87 right now. But so we found 9 Iron Capital just out tweeting. He was out tweeting about PDAI before we even knew him, right? So that's, you know, again, you know, we can talk into, he was out there beating the drums months ago, like back in early June. So we found him, invited him into the group, and then him butting heads with Newt really just set everything off. I was lucky to be there, but they just started going off on this research stuff, but they didn't necessarily, like, it was too, you know, I don't know what the right word is. It was too like fresh and not a lot. We didn't want people to spread wrong information. So we're like, hey, we need to get a special chat going specifically with these researchers. And I just kind of set it up, right? So we did it, ended up finding some more stuff. We brought it to our community first, and we were like, hey, how the heck do we release this? We didn't know what we were supposed to do with it. And then the lawsuit happened. So if you go look at my original tweet that I did, it's maybe 1 or 2 days after the lawsuit. After that hit, we were like, yo, we got to breathe some life into this chain. This will do it. So we just did it. That message was a message that was crafted by the community, everybody involved. And so it was not just me. Like, I'm just a lucky guy, right? I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. The guys who have been doing the heavy lifting, Newt, 9 Iron, Jimmy Rant, Snowflake Society. We've got Treebs coming in lately. We've got, there's a few people in our chat that have just kind of grown. People that have been out researching on their own. They never necessarily asked for it, but they were doing good work. So we're like, hey, come on in. Coach X is in there as well. So really anybody that does good stuff is kind of open to it. And as long as, you know, we can, you know, obviously we kind of have to trust them a little bit. But that's how it all started. I mean, and then we released the tweet and it took a life of its own. And now it's just absolutely insane.
Yeah, man, that is one crazy story. And, you know, thank you so much for breaking that down, because that gives context to how this evolved, because there's so many conspiracies behind you guys about some of the craziest stuff. Like, I have so many people telling me stuff that it was a complete lie, and I knew the true story, but having that out there is going to be extremely important, especially on this live stream. Now, some things that you like to touch up on: PRC20 tokens, and you talked about the community sounding to the beat their own drum. A lot of people were talking about this 1-on-1 airdrop, and it was just a talking point saying you get a 1-on-1 airdrop copy of your ERC20 favorite ERC20s on the Pulsechain as a PRC20. I heard it so much. And then Richard Heart puts out the farms, tries to bring people over with Wrap Bitcoin and also with Pepe. And then everyone just started going crazy. You know, the pitchforks came out, the mob came in, they started attacking everybody. And believe it or not, I was actually covering PRC20s, and I put DEGENS on top of like my live streams. I said, here's some PRC20 tokens that are popping up. And then when I saw your tweet, which I call it the tweet around the blockchain, the tweet around the Pulsechain, this is probably one of the biggest tweets ever in Pulsechain history. And in my opinion, this thing needs to get framed, and I think it will one day. Just my opinion.
Hey.
But when I saw this, it resonated with me and a lot of other people that weren't speaking up about how these PRC20 tokens could be a play and how they could potentially make millionaires, in my opinion, not financial advice, yada yada, all that stuff. So when you put out this tweet, what were you thinking? What was in your head when you put it out here? Were you like a little bit scared? Were you nervous? Or were you just like, I'm excited, I need to get this out here, let's see what happens? And did you expect it to get as big as it when you originally wrote it and sent it out?
Yeah. So that's a really good question. I don't know how big. I obviously was like, hey, let's, I thought it could start something and it could take off. I guess just I didn't understand the scope of necessarily what that meant, right? I felt like it would be big, but now that I'm in it, it's like, whoa, this is a different animal than I had ever thought it would be. It was like, it's just crazy. So, and what was the other question you asked about that? You asked something else about?
Yeah. So, what was going on in your mind when you put this tweet? Were you like excited, nervous, scared? Were you afraid that, people in the community were going to go after you? I mean, obviously you're always fighting battles on Twitter. I see it all the time. Like, you're an absolute legend, but what was that feeling?
Well, I was excited. I was like, hey, this is it. Like, we're on to it. I didn't know there would be as much pushback from people. Again, just had no idea, right? I was just like, this is it. Like, how could anybody deny this? And of course, some people came forward with really good points later on down the line that kind of, we needed to do more research on top of this tweet. So it worked out. But honestly, like when I saw the OA was doing stuff, I was like, oh, this is game over. OA, like, well, all I needed was this thing has had thick liquidity for a really long time from the beginning. It has had OA, like out of all the PRCs, at least, this one is a thick liquidity pool. It had a logo from the beginning. Okay, and now the OA is doing something. Okay, something is going on here. Like, that was all I needed, right? But I'm a conspiracy nut job. So we some people need a lot more facts and data. I've had to learn that, different people have different investment and like risk appetites and everything, and try to be more respectful of that. But yeah, it's honestly, it just kind of, I had no idea it was going to be like this. So
yeah, absolutely. And I am like Beards when he retweeted what you said and put something like a little caption, forgot the caption. That's when I saw it took off and got over. Gosh, man, I think it was at like 50,000 views or something. So hats off to you guys, because I feel like that document encompasses all the research you did, beautifully crafted, really well laid out, and in my opinion, the foundation for a new community within the Pulsechain that got people so excited and stoked for this entire chain, especially after the SEC lawsuit. So definitely kudos to you, Mewtwo, 900 Capital, Coach X, Zach, the entire crew. You guys are absolute legends, and definitely give you guys a shout out. Now, let's get into the main meat and cheese, and this is probably stuff that everybody wants to talk about. We need to talk about some ecosystem tokens, because I know you're very well aware of this, but for everyone on this live stream, we have some really big news about what's going on with Atropa, TSFI, down, every single one of these tokens. And so I want to bring up a little chart. So we got big news today, and I think Jimmy was the first one to put this out here, but he says, FYI, it appears that the Atropa contract, excuse me, this was 2 days ago, not today. FYI, it appears that the Atropa contract just got renounced. It can't be minted and rugged. STFU fudders resume the pegging. And then Zach comes in and was like, hey, benevolent actor confirmed. That's a big word right there. Benevolent. We hear that a lot, right? For Atropa, contract is renounced. GTFO haters, TSFI just shut up 10x. Go look at yourself at verifiedpulse.com. So just coming back to these ecosystem tokens, because Atropa had a renounced contract, in your opinion, what does this mean for PDI?
Well, I think it's obviously bullish, and to me, in my opinion, right, this is not facts. We always need to clarify what's facts, what's not. My opinion, this confirms that. So like, this is something like the biggest source of FUD with this was they're just going to mint infinite tokens and rug the ecosystem, right? They're trapping everybody in here. And so could there still be something that's nefarious? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I can't say that. But to me, it was confirmation that there's something going on here, like something bigger going on here. We do know that there is a public mint function as part of the contract. It just can't be infinitely called on by the owner now. So that's what it means. So in my opinion, what this means is we're going to have more things come out. There's going to be some sort of function that Atropa needs to mint. We don't know what that is yet. Once we figure that out, it's probably going to be really, really bullish for stuff. And then that just leads to everything else. What the heck are all of these other tokens? Do they have utilities? Is it just some weird liquidity ecosystem that all connects together? I mean, it's crazy to speculate. I mean, we can talk about some of the stuff that we found last night with a couple of tokens if you want. I mean, I might as well. This is actually okay. So we have found 3 tokens that are not, so the Atropa OA, obviously he creates all these different tokens. That's kind of how it works. And what he'll interact with a lot of Pulsechain specific tokens, and then he's also interacted with several copies. Ones that we found are Zen. I know you talked about Zen. I don't know enough about Zen to speak on what that is. The other one is Up token, lowercase u, uppercase p. That was going to be the token for the CoinMe cash out ATMs on ETH. And then he also has a pool with Teddy and Caw token, CAW. Not saying to buy any of these, of course, right? Like do your research, and they're just, for right now, they're just copies on this side. But the Teddy Caw one was interesting too, because the Caw token on ETH, if you go to their website, it's basically like a decentralized, its goal, they say, is to be a decentralized Twitter. So we've already seen now the block blend, the potential crypto cards, a connection with right? Potentially connection, like loose connection. OA is just interacting with the token. That's all we saw. But that's ATMs. We've got, I don't know if Zen has some sort of super cool function that's like, revolutionary. But then there's also Caw, which is Twitter, right? A decentralized Twitter. And if you go to their website, it's really cool. You can see like, it's like caw.ics or something. It's kind of hard to find on Google. I think you got to go to their Twitter, at least what I did. CAW.
Okay. All right, go to the Twitter. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, check it out.
Let me bring this down real quick. But yeah, so I'm gonna bring that up right now. So we're seeing all these ecosystem tokens blow up, and hey, how do you spell it again? Yeah, actually, let me do this.
CAW.
All right, so CAW.
Token.
Okay, token. Gotcha. Right here.
I don't know which one.
COD token.
No, definitely not. Type in the $ CAW.
Oh, okay. Like COD token.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see what happens.
Huh. So here, let's do this.
That's super weird.
Token Twitter.
Yeah, I think I had to find it through CoinGecko. There it is, a Hunter's Dream. That's what it is.
Okay, cool. So, okay, got a Hunter's Dream. So this is the COD token, and you're saying decentralized Twitter. Do they by chance have a website? Maybe it's down here. Okay.
Can you go up really fast? I think I saw. I think I found it from here yesterday. Maybe I found it from Coin Market Cap.
Okay.
Okay. Sure.
Let's do that real quick. I think this is actually extremely important, guys. So just stick with us for 1 second, because I think it'll be extremely rewarding.
Yeah. So that, like, I guess kind of while you're looking this up, I'll just kind of finish my thought. It's potentially, like, this is my theory, right? This is the only data I have to back it up, is the OA has interacted with these weird tokens. This is it. Yeah. So potentially there's going to be some sort of ecosystem, some sort of playground back here where the demand to stay in it is way, way larger than the demand to get out. And so that's one of the ways where they could stabilize PDAI, because PDAI is the spear into this Atropa ecosystem. So if more people are coming in, well, that's a really good way to stabilize that right there. And then they can pump all sorts of liquidity in, and then liquidity incentivization models and metrics. I mean, who the heck knows? But this is just like the type of stuff that seems to be right up, person who created Pulsechain, his alley, what he likes. I don't like to freaking name him, because like a lot of people, we don't know who it is. It's the ethos of Pulsechain. It's right with it. The decentralization, the privatization, censorship resistant, all of that stuff. So it just so happens that the tokens that this OA has interacted with are all of these other tokens, right?
Yeah. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's it. Yeah. I was just
saying. So the interesting thing is, I love how this COD token has a correlation, because believe it or not, X.com, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I call it Twitter, people freak out. But X.com is basically becoming the everything app, starting with, the tweets, bringing on cryptocurrency. And there's rumors that this platform might do something with their own cryptocurrency / blockchain. Complete speculation, but this ecosystem is building out. A decentralized social media would be something extremely beneficial, since we have so many tokens. And so seeing this COD token, then I haven't seen this before, and this is new alpha coming on here on this live stream. This just, adds a little bit to the mystery. Now, coming back to these ecosystem tokens. So we need to unpack a little bit. So starting off with Zen Crypto, this is where things get interesting, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Zen Crypto was developed by Jack Levin, if for those you don't know. And basically, how it works is it's very similar to X. It's not the same exact thing, but you approve a smart contract and you can have a stake. And based off that stake, you can earn those tokens go in the future. So the longer you stake it out, the more tokens you earn. The only difference between Zen and Hex is Zen, you get free crypto, you just pay a gas fee. Now, what's really interesting is that we saw a huge fight between the Zen community and the Hex community. And now that we have Zen Crypto, which is Zen Classic, a copied over ERC20 token, some people speculate that Jack Levin might have his hand in this ecosystem, which is absolutely insane. But overall, Zen Classic is inflationary. So from your research and from what you saw, this Atropa and Zen Classic pairing, is this like an arbitrage opportunity? Like how are these pairs between Atropa, Zen Crypto, Atropa, and Doge working?
I haven't looked into that. Those are two that I didn't dive into as much as some of these other ones. Right? They just we looked into Up early, and then we just found Call yesterday. I want to say it was Meme Slayer that brought it up in the spaces. So shout out to Meme Slayer. Want to give him credit. So like we just found this stuff, and I mean, yeah, we may need to look into those a little bit more, I would have to say, but I'm not familiar with it. It's just been so vast and so deep. It's like I don't think we've looked at that. But I did notice the Doge one, and I thought the Doge one was weird because that's not even the real Doge copy. It's like the Pulsechain Doge.
Yeah. That's one thing that had me scratch my head because maybe they're trying to target the Doge community, but I just don't know. So this was a token that was launched at the beginning of Pulsechain launch, or was it copied over? It wasn't copied over from Ethereum. Is that correct?
Yeah, there is a Doge that's copied over from Ethereum, and then
Okay.
there's this Doge. So
Okay, so this is like a new Doge. Okay, cool.
right.
Now, the other thing I wanted to just bring up real quick. Let's see if I can find it. So there's actually a new token that I've been doing some research on, and I want to get your thoughts on this. It's called the First Pulse Mutual Bond. And before I dive into this, I want everyone to have a full disclaimer. We don't know anything about this token. There's research behind it. Please proceed with caution. But I was looking into this, and this has been on Twitter a little bit. So it's very interesting. So overall, the price right now for one of these tokens is sitting at 27K. Earlier today, it was down at 11K. So we're looking at like a 2x right now. Now, if you take this contract address and you pasted it into the notorious Pulse scan and sit there and wait, you get a large plethora of other ecosystem tokens such as Atropa, Legal. I'm not going to even try to pronounce these things, but I'll let you guys read. And then Treasury Bill. In your opinion, do you possibly think, pure speculation, the first Pulse mutual bond is the formation of a decentralized bank?
Yeah, golly, I have no idea. I mean, that's also something that's kind of right in line with everything that's going on. So, I mean, add that one to the list as far as I'm concerned. So that would be awesome. Again, I can't say yes or no to any of this, but that's a new like little layer that we can throw onto this that fits, right? So that's what I can say on it.
Yeah.
So, and it would not surprise me at all, considering that we've seen ATMs and then also cards. And it's like, how the heck is that going to work? Like, who is going to allow the ATMs and a card to do that? There has to be some sort of bank that is someone setting up for that, because otherwise it wouldn't. The current system, I mean, maybe there's someone out there, but that would be pretty wild. So
absolutely. And this ties a little bit back into let me bring up this other one. So Zach and I had a really great conversation last night, and I think this is a really interesting detail that you'll like. So we started diving in and we're looking at like the down and the TSFI token. And the interesting thing about the down that we noticed in the group was this thing absorbs sell pressure when PDI is getting hit hard. And then TSFI also absorbs buy pressure when it gets hit hard. And I'm not sure if that's true. It's changed. And shout out to Khaos, because Khaos really puts out a lot of tweets behind this. Now, the interesting thing that we're seeing is there's some sort of token utility behind each of these tokens that is slowly being revealed. And some people speculate there might be a token utility for each one of these. Or B Roots came out and said, hey, I think they're playing around in seeing which token builds the largest community like Atropa, and they're going to use that as the main token. In your opinion, do you think we're getting a bunch of tokens with specific utilities, or do you think there's they're kind of speculating, trying to figure out which token clicks harder, and then that's going to be the main token of the Atropa ecosystem on top of Atropa and PDI? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I don't know, right? With Jimmy, I think I did watch that stream yesterday. It was really good. So Zach talked about the different perspectives, right? How Jimmy, and there's a class of people that think a lot of these are tokens or like test tokens, and they're not touching any of it, right? Because they don't know, which is a fair thought. We don't know. My belief is I think they all have some sort of use case, and maybe the use case isn't necessarily for us to buy. So that's why I'm not saying go into it. It could be a use case where like the token is meant to keep inflating and just, for whatever reason, like we don't know. And like I got burned like that on the MV token the other day. I bought like $300. It's like at $4 right now. Like I got burned on that one. So you just gotta be really careful with it. So, but and then I think so. There's going to be some sort of use case with everything. And yeah, the down token is super duper interesting. Khaos has kind of already like started putting this out there, but I've noticed that there's definitely a trend when there's big sell-offs, there's a bigger upswing. It's weird. Like it's like, and maybe it's just market sentiments, right? So like we can't like 100% say that this is what it is until we know. But like, I mean, we saw it the other day. Zuka had his post where someone sold off like $50,000. Market was lower, so it was a big chunk of the market cap. And then very quickly within the hour, the bots or whatever just popped it right back up to where it was and eliminated that position. And then I had a tweet from earlier today as well. I don't know if you want to pull that up. My friend, he's been trying to get me to sell. Like he's telling me I'm crazy. My mom too. She thinks I'm crazy, but that's okay. Love you so, Mom. I love my homie too. But they just he just wanted to sell. So he had been itching to sell. I'm telling him to save it. And so it just popped today, right? So he finally just did it, and this is him right here. So if you scroll down a little bit, he tweeted me right after it happened. So he said, "Dude, look at this." So right that's here? His no up where it says these 3 red candles. Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, these 3 red candles is me selling 800 at a time until I sold 30K worth, and the market fully recovered. Wow, that is insane.
That's the 5-minute chart. So if you look at it on an hour chart, I think you can't even really see it on the hour chart. It's crazy.
Wow. So, that is insane.
And I think he had about 30 million or so, just for perspective, right? So there's definitely a lot of people with more, but that's still a pretty solid chunk to sell off back to back. So
okay, yeah, no, definitely that is crazy. Yeah, I actually have so many friends and locally that are always asking me about this, and I mean, I always tell them, you're going to come over here, and I know we've been highlighting on this a lot, but you're going to come over here, you're going to see all this stuff. The main bread and butter of this ecosystem is the PDI token and the Atropa token. Those are the heart and the soul of what's going on. Everything else is just extra. It's speculation. We don't know what's going on. But, some things that we are seeing is special utility behind each and every single one of these tokens, which is absolutely crazy. Now, I need to pick your brain about Beetroot and Blockbin, because these are two mysterious companies that I'm absolutely obsessed with. And so I want to show you this tweet that came out from Beetroot. Looks like an Atropa beat pool is coming, Pulsechain, PDI. And then they basically put up a poll saying that they're going to pair up their Beetroot token with the Atropa token. And so for context, Blockbin is this mysterious privacy bridge that not a lot of people knew about, that actually came to mainstream Pulsechain news. And basically Beetroot is, well, they're basically on the Pulsechain side, and they're connecting the Blockbin bridge from Ethereum straight to the Pulsechain. And this is where funds are being transferred from the Ethereum blockchain to the Pulsechain to basically put liquidity into the Atropa token to bring PDI to peg. That's the theory, and it's a privacy bridge, and we can't see in these transactions. In your opinion, do you think there's some sort of hand involved with Beetroot and Blockbin to the pegging, whether it's, they're working with the people trying to bring PDI to peg, or do you think the people bring PDI to peg are just using a product on the Pulsechain?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think I don't know enough about Beetroot, but it wouldn't surprise me, just given they've been super supportive of everything. They have an awesome project. One of the few that's like been there from early on in the Pulsechain days, delivered on what they said that they were going to do, and like has been successful, right? Not many projects have. And so, that's always just like, a sign right there that things are really good. But then, yeah, we did find out that they're using the block blend software. You had also talked about how there's some sort of new staking protocol or something. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And I wouldn't necessarily say if it's like part of the pegging, but I think that they have some sort of the utility that's built out to keep people on the chain and to incentivize the people to stay on chain. So that's kind of where I think their role is. And then the same with Block Blend. And again, they're ETH still, but maybe Beetroot does their cards. I don't necessarily know. So Block Blend, their card, that's a game changer as well. So that's another one of those like super cool things, but that's not Pulsechain specific. So we'll see. But the thing is the fees on the ETH side for them are just crazy. It just doesn't make sense a lot of times for people to use ETH with it. So I can see this being something that like becomes a little bit more Pulsechain centric over time, just because ETH is garbage. So I'll just say it like it is.
Yeah, no. Hey, there's nothing wrong with shooting straight from the hip. So when I saw you talk about Blockbin, man, I like everyone's been looking at the tokens, and I'm letting y'all cover that. I just been going straight into Beetroot and Blockbin because I am obsessed with what they're trying to do. And some stuff I found about the prepaid crypto card is basically you have this card, you take your wallet, send the funds there, go straight into this debit card that you get, and then basically the funds stay there for, I believe it was about 45 days. You go, you take it, you spend it, and it's untraceable. And the crazy part about all this is going to be something extremely scary when it comes to US regulation, and I can kind of see why they're kind of staying under the radar. Same with Beetroot. They're staying under the radar because this privacy stuff is extremely scary, especially at the US regulatory level. So I think, just kind of coming back to what's going on with Blockbin, it's crazy that Pulsechain had this secret bridge that nobody knew about. What's your thoughts on this privacy bridge?
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, to be honest. So I think it's exciting. I think it's right. It's another one of those things that's right up Pulsechain and the ethos of Pulsechain and everything that just fits right in with the privacy and a reason for people to come here and stay here. But yeah, I loved it. I mean, when I first found it, I loved it. I aped into the BBL token. I'll be honest. I staked. It's all staked. Don't plan on pulling it out because that's the other thing with this one is to earn fees on a decentralized crypto card. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, we are like literally like people talk about being the bank and like I guess they can earn some fees in the liquidity pool. Yeah, sure, but payments processing, you can be like the bank for that. Get out of here. Like that's insane. That's one of those revolutionary things, right? We always hear Sami talk about like what's going to be the revolutionary thing, right? And of course, I don't know. The last time it was Uniswap. Now we're kind of seeing this DAI ecosystem. I think this is one thing, but I think this product specifically, like a privatized payment cards that people can earn fees on, revolutionary. It's absolutely insane, and I'm surprised it hasn't taken off like it has yet. Maybe it's just because they're waiting for something, or who knows. But yeah,
absolutely. And so no, definitely really great points with Blockbin. Now I wanna switch your attention to let's see, where was it? So I think I had a tweet that I want to talk about with Beetroot. So basically Beetroot has this new chat bot that is right here. Here we go. So Beetroot has this new chat bot that's really catching my interest because I understand chatbots have a lot of problems. You're uploading data or whatnot. but chatbots are the introduction to the AI and blockchain. And the one thing I always preach about on my stream is when cryptocurrency first launched, the main goal was never to necessarily replace the financial system. That was just the first step up the staircase. The end goal of cryptocurrency, so to speak, is to create an AI system that can run on the blockchain that's energy efficient and cannot have that and does not have any sort of centralized control by one person. And so seeing Beetroot get into the privacy bridge, having a partnership with Blockbin, and also introducing these AI chatbots. Hodlnomics, in your opinion, in this next bull market, do you think we're going to have an AI boom?
Ooh, that's a good question. I've never thought that, right? But now that you say that, and this is going on, I mean, potentially, I just don't know how it would work. Like, I don't know enough about it. I need to do more research on how AI and blockchain would work. But I mean, wouldn't surprise me if something like that came up for sure. And yeah, this was interesting too. I even went to their chat and I was like, "What the heck is up with this?" And they were just like, "Yeah, we don't know, but we can tell you that we fed it a lot of Pulsechain specific information." So it's like, okay. But my thing with the AIs, I've just been burned by Claude and some of these other ones. So, it's got to be taken with a grain of salt.
Oh, I agree, man. I agree. Yeah, I thought it was just cool to pop up because we're speculating, and speculation's fun, and speculation is the DEGENS alcohol, in my opinion. We absolutely love speculation, but this has brought up a really crazy thought experiment and weird connection that I want to break down for you. So we have TSFI, and just taking a step back into the token utility. So TSFI stands for total supply free claim, and then it goes on yada yada yada, and then it talks about a I believe it was a Pulsechain bridge. These tokens could be locked on the Pulse bridge contract on Ethereum and then claimed to the Pulsechain network at a 1-to-1 ratio. So just hear me out real quick. So there's another project that's actually very similar to what Beetroot is talking about. It's called VMPX.io. And so VMPX is going to be a tokenized bridge like the Beetroot chatbot explained, except you have VMPX as a BRC20 token on the Bitcoin blockchain and VMPX as a ERC20 on the Ethereum blockchain. And so the idea is you can take one token from one blockchain, transfer the value, your spending value, to another blockchain and have the first decentralized bridge. The main issue with bridges is they're centralized. There's always admin keys to it. And a majority of the hacks that occur in cryptocurrency happen at bridges, especially Solana. But I won't get into Solana. We already know about it. That's history.
Yeah.
So coming back to, let me bring up that chart real quick. So I did talk about how TSFI has some value behind the buy pressure, but that's more of a house question. But the one thing that really kicked in my mind is, all right, so we got the Zen Classic pairing, and then we have the TSFI. Assuming that maybe there's some truth behind this chatbot, and like I said, like a grain of salt, maybe there's a possibility that TSFI could be a decentralized bridge token that it would be much needed on the Pulsechain in case the main one gets compromised. Holonomics, in your opinion, I know it's complete speculation. What do you think about the theory? I want to know your overall thoughts.
Yeah, it could happen, right? As the conspiracy guy, like sounds like it's plausible. I don't know though. I mean, given that there's already a bridge with Beetroot and then Block Blend, I don't know. Maybe it's something else that's in the works, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's something that would kind of move the needle like everything else in this ecosystem has, unless it's maybe some sort of fully decentralized one, which that seems interesting to me because I thought bridges were already decentralized for the most part, but I guess not. So I guess not because of the pool that stays in there. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So basically so most of the bridges have like bridge validators going through and approving transactions, but a majority of them have admin keys. So for example, the Pulsechain bridge has admin keys as well. So it's technically not necessarily decentralized, and Richard can go in or the team can go in and change stuff up. Now this new approach would actually make it decentralized because essentially it's tokens inside the bridge, and basically it'd be swapping through the token so you can maintain that value. So one token on one blockchain will equal another token on another blockchain. So how the Pulsechain bridge works is you take in, like, so let's say you take in Ethereum from the Ethereum blockchain. It comes in and then creates a replica of that Ethereum as like a different token, but it follows the price of Ethereum, and it goes on and you can just transact through the Pulsechain. Now, some things can happen at the Pulsechain bridge. Number one, a lot of people start taking Ethereum from the Pulsechain, going through the bridge, and the bridge runs out of Ethereum. So basically, it's not liquid, and there's no more Ethereum at the bridge. So your value gets trapped on the Pulsechain. Number two, a bridge exploit. If a bridge gets exploited, then there's a good chance you can't get your tokens from the Pulsechain, and we can't send it or receive it to like Coinbase or another place to convert it to fiat. And so the idea is having this decentralized bridge. No one controls it, doesn't have a risk of being hacked, and essentially it removes the need for centralized authority behind it. Now, this is all in theory, and this is all being tested right now, but it's just crazy because what VNPX is trying to do is what that chatbot is explaining, and the connection is very interesting, is what I was trying to bring up. So
I see. So actually, can you bring that tweet up again? Yeah, when I read it, I was confused. So now that you've explained that a little bit differently.
Yeah, let me see. So I got a bunch of stuff. I believe it was this one. Nope.
That's
Hold
fine.
on.
It reminds me of when I make YouTube videos. You got to have the tabs ready.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, we have a billion of them. Yeah,
we just hit 16 on DAI.
yeah, that's crazy. Actually, speaking of it, yeah, DAI's coming up. But yeah, let's close this out and then we'll get into the price dynamics. This could be crazy.
Yeah.
But
so reverse the total supply Pulsechain tokens have been claimed for free by holders of certain Ethereum tokens. So how can you claim it for free?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. See, this one just confused me. I was like, it sounds cool, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've never figured it out. But yeah. I mean, I'm not a blockchain like expert or anything, so there could be some sort of mechanism. I don't know.
Yeah, well, then again, it is a chatbot, so we got to take it with a grain of salt. So I'm just curious to get your opinions on that. And then the last thing before we move into price dynamics, I really want to get your opinion on a few things. The 11111, the 1111, 1131, the ones, the numerology stuff. I don't know if you're big in numerology, but one is the number of influence. What's your thought on seeing these weird token supplies?
Yeah. What were you going to say? Do I think what?
Oh, no. What's your thoughts on these weird token supplies with like the 11111? I'm curious because I know you're a conspiracy guy. I'm a conspiracy guy. I just want to know your opinion.
Yeah, I never got into the numerology, mainly because I would listen to people like Waters Above and some of these other people, and it just like went way over my head. I think if it was something that I really like dove into, I might be able to understand a little bit more. But it's not something that I can just casually observe. So I've never been into it. I hear everybody says it's like, oh, cool, like we love these numbers, and I'm like, sounds good, but that's about my perspective.
Okay, I got you. Cool. All right, so let's get into some pricing dynamics real quick. So really, really crazy timeline. So to start off, I believe when you put this tweet out, it was like at the beginning of August. It was like 2nd, 3rd, 4th-ish. I might have it right up here. But regardless, it was at the beginning of the month. We don't have to go get it. And then we had this huge run up, and then we got the Somni FUD. And the Somni FUD pushed the thing back down. Then we got the, I believe it was the dollar cost crypto FUD, the DCC FUD. And then we also got the, what's the last one? Who's that developer from?
Dipcatcher?
Dipcatcher. We had the Dipcatcher FUD. So we had 3 major FUD events. The DAI price has managed to continue to go up. Do you think there's going to be any future FUD events that will affect the DAI price, in your opinion?
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be next is going to be the Bitcoin and the ETH maxis. So we've really only been dealing with it from Pulsechain people right now, which is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I think once they get on board and they kind of push this out to the masses, which is going to come, I think we're close. then it's going to be all of the Hex and the Pulsechain haters who start coming in. And so, you know, there will be people with clout, right? Like we thought these guys had clout. We're going to have Eric Wall on our ass. We're going to have, I mean, I don't even know who's going to be on our ass. Freaking Michael Saylor could even cause FUD, right? Like the bosses are going to get bigger. So I do believe that it's going to get, this is just a fractal. This is how it's going to look as it grows. So we'll see. But I also really like the way that the bot is working right now. If it just keeps doing what it is doing and kind of just like slow grind up, I think that's better than like a blow off the top. Yeah, I'd love to be rich tomorrow. But this kind of allows for like less, you know, big FUD crash opportunities kind of situation. So which are when there's a big FUD opportunity or like a big crash, then that's part of the narrative that this can't be a stable coin, right? And so then the more people sell, like, oh, it's broken, it's broken. So if it just kind of grinds up like it is right now, it lends more credence to that this actually is a stable coin and there is a bot actually working on it. But who knows? I don't know how it's going to happen. I mean, we shall see.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a phenomenal point. You know, to see all these FUD events and seeing the price respond so well, it kind of shows you how number one, the bots are doing extremely well, and we're starting to get a better understanding of the bots. And I'll probably talk about this in future live streams when we got the full information. But also number two, the most important thing, community. Community is the biggest thing behind these projects. You don't have a community, you don't have a project. And now that we have more eyes on this token, it survived these FUD events, we're starting to see the strengthening in the price as a reflection behind the strong community. And that's the one thing we have never seen before with something like this. Now, Holonomics, I need to get your opinion on centralized stable coins. So they say they're decentralized, like USDC and USDT. Do you think PDI is going to be a major player and a major competitor against USDC and USDT one day?
Oh, it's a good question, man. That would be awesome if it was. I mean, what are the market caps for those? Those are absurd.
Yeah, so let's say it should be on CoinGecko. So market cap for these is 82 billion, and then the other one is 26 billion. So let's just say in a hypothetical world, PDI hits peg. I'm not saying it's going to hit peg. Could these possibly be a competitor, since you know you have a decentralized stablecoin with a story, or you have these other stable coins that are backed by companies that had deemed to be really, really sketchy? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it can compete. I mean, nobody even really likes USDC or USDT. It's just the option that we have. Now, is PDI ever going to be on exchanges like they are? Probably not, right? That's going to be a big difference. Those have a big exchange presence. But as far as a decentralized one, I mean, I think that would be pretty awesome. And I think it would be super awesome if they could somehow get it cross-chain. Then it would be game over. That would be super cool. Maybe that's what the bridge is for with TSFI. So, I mean, who knows? But then if you just start thinking about how high these market caps are, this is why I've always said that Pulsechain's got to take over ETH quicker than people realize, is because the amount of liquidity that has to get pumped in just to these stables is absurd. And so, I mean, and I think it can happen, right? Like, what does ETH really have going for it? I mean, I don't know. It's just a bunch of pump and dumps, a bunch of JPEGs, super high gas fees, not a lot of real world actual things going on. But if we see that stuff starting to happen on Pulsechain, which we have our theories why that is, golly, like that's just, it's almost unfathomable to really think about. Because why don't you click on ETH and see what the market cap? Well, I do know that the market cap of BNB got up to, I believe, 50 billion during the bull. But if you click on I was going to check out ETH.
Yeah,
that's fine. You can do it too. If you go to the market cap,
let me go. Yeah, let me go back to you.
I go to the market. Yeah,
I got you. Sorry.
Cool.
So we'll say it got up to about, I believe, 560 million. Billion. No, billion. I'm sorry.
That's a billion.
Yeah, so half a trillion.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, I mean, is that realistic for this bull run? Probably not. What did they do in their first bull run?
All right. So the first bull run, they got up to about 140 billion, roughly.
Okay.
So
that's 140x from where Pulsechain is right now, if I'm not mistaken. So That'd be
Yeah.
awesome, right? And I think that somewhere in the middle from maybe where ETH was and where this is, I think is realistic. And then maybe next cycle it'll take it over. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to, maybe just that's being realistic, but it wouldn't surprise me if Pulsechain flipped ETH this cycle.
Absolutely. You know, I think in my opinion, based off of what we're seeing with trends. So there's multiple trends that I'm really bullish on, but layer twos is a very special one that we're seeing develop with Optimism, Polygon, Arbitrum, and a lot of these bigger layer two scaling solutions are VC funded. And what's great about Pulsechain is it's extremely community driven blockchain with the main goal of creating scalability for Ethereum. And so there's going to be a mass amount of value come over to the Pulsechain. The question, how much is that, and how will it impact the Pulsechain? And in my opinion, if PDI does what we think it's going to do, it's going to be a phenomenal mechanism for extraction of that value when we start to see more projects come over to Ethereum. So it's going to be really interesting how this plays out, man. So we need to talk about your PRC Pantheon project.
Oh,
I was doing a
yeah.
little bit of research, and so I'm going to bring up the website real quick. So getting into, you know, PRC Pantheon, I know you spoke a lot about this. You always tweet a lot about this. Can you just give us a quick breakdown of what this project is and what's the main utility?
Yeah. So again, this for me was to pump my PRC bags. That was the whole point of this, and add a support system to, you know, a community support led project to these tokens, right? Because again, at the beginning, after the Harambe dump, I realized what they need is liquidity, but who the heck is going to put liquidity into these tokens? Like that's at that time when I was thinking that was an absurd thing to do, right? They're just insanely volatile. There's nothing going on in here. So I just kind of thought of this. Of course, I wanted to make a little bit of money, but this is the NFT collection. So that's what we do. So 60% of the funds generated go directly into different PRC20 pools. And so right now we have, I think, about 10% of the PDI Wrap PLS pair on V2. And we actually made that pair viable. So it was all V1 when this first started. And we deposited, I think there was maybe 1,500, $2,000 in the liquidity pool for V2. Because again, who's going to deposit money into that pool when PDI is just like, that's what you want, not the liquidity pool. So we made that viable. I think we kicked it up to like 6K, just us. And then the volume started to happen. And then everybody started moving over there. And that turned out to be a great thing. So then what we do is we take those rewards that we earn, 40% of them we just keep in the pool. 20% of them we use to go to our staking pool. 40% goes to our staking pool. We'll talk about that in a second. Right. And then 20% goes to our floor sweeps and burn. Yeah, there you go. So this is what we do. So you got the LP Smite pool. You see it there. It's and then 40% stays in, 40% goes to staking, 20% we do floor sweeps and burn. And I think the community is going to vote to actually just burn PDI. We'll see. It doesn't look like that's needed right now, but that may be what we do. And then 20% we have goes to staking, just out of our regular sales. And we lucked out on that one. We got PDI like early on. And we have about 20 million PDI in our staking pool right now. So each holder's, you know, earning at the moment about 3,500 PDI if everybody stakes, which won't happen. The ROI is going to be super solid on that. Is like if this goes to $1 and each one's like $8-9 right now. I mean, that's an absurd ROI. So, but I always like to say right now you can get more PDI. I think our cost is 340,000. 340,000. 340,000. Yeah. Gotcha. 340,000 mint cost. You can get more PLS than you would be able to with our staking rewards. So, you know, I always like to say I don't like to push this too hard right now. Of course, if you want to come in and support, would love it. And it does help boost the ecosystem because we put so much back in. But yeah, and even with my funds, I'm kind of using not everything I have, but a lot to support with liquidity as well. This was never like a money grab for me. I wanted to make money. I had so much money in the PRCs. I wanted to make money off of that. So I just thought it was a really kind of holistic way to do stuff and grow. And, you know, the fact that I'm keeping 80% of it in the community and in the ecosystem is unheard of for an NFT project. So I think that's why we've done so well. And it's been a lot of fun. Shout out to everybody with the PFPs out there. It's growing. And yeah, like, thank you guys. It's, I've been in this game a while. I've tried other NFT projects and it was bad timing and other stuff didn't work out. So Like y'all have no idea how thankful I am for like all of this. It's like a dream come true. Like so, super appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love this project because, everyone thinks in NFTs, pixelated images, but this adds a really cool utility that you never seen before behind an NFT. And what I like about it is it's going to generate excitement. It gets into the PRC 20 DEGENS stuff. And I think with the entire like group you're part of, and also the amount of interest and now how many people are finally talking about these PRC 20 token copies. I think this is going to be a great way to build a foundation and to support a lot of these tokens. And in my opinion, when we're in the middle of the bull market, Pulsechain's booming, everyone's bullish, everyone's friendly with each other, and there's no infighting. There's a lot of potential behind this NFT project. So, based on all the stuff you said, really great points. Absolutely love it. Now, as for the project, is there any sort of like admin keys? Is it immutable? Have you guys been audited? Like, give us the details behind that.
Yeah. So it's super simple, right? The funds automatically get deposited to all three of those wallets, which I have control over each one. We originally the Smite, it says Smite there. We were originally going to burn the liquidity, but I'm glad we didn't. We ended up decided to hold on to it and use the rewards, which has been a very valuable thing. So I'm glad we did it. But it's kind of tricky to do in a decentralized manner. I'm sure it can be done, but I mean, this wasn't like something I was trying to make super like that. It was just kind of more, hey, like if you don't want to buy in early because you don't trust me, like, okay, that's fine. Like I'm going to earn that trust over time. And I know that I am. So that was kind of my whole, genesis into it. And then also I wanted to get started right away and building out a whole DAO and all of that stuff that would have taken years potentially. So it's just like, let's just send it. Let's just do it. I know I'm here and I'm not going to do anything harmful. Obviously, like take that with a grain of salt, but I do hope to earn that trust, and so people can see that from me rather than just hear that from me over time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, awesome. And going on to the future, any expected roadmap, utility, anything new you guys are planning on coming out with the NFT project?
Not at the moment. Right now, it's super duper simple. Right, I don't have to spend a ton of time on it. I'm one dude. I have another job. I don't have the bandwidth to do anything super duper crazy. This is just simple, right? And so if something happens, I mean, my life is already kind of taking a turn here and I have more time. Who knows what we could do? I mean, the resources could be at a completely different place when I started. I would love to add something on. I do have some ideas, but I can't promise anything. Like I might just decide to just say like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to keep doing exactly like how this is. That's what we're going to do. So it's a possibility. It's just I want to make sure that if I did do something, I could commit to it, and I would also want it to be something that's awesome. Like I have some ideas, but I don't want to do just a bridge, just a liquidity pool, just a token, like something that people haven't seen before. And so might have some. I'll just say this: there, if it plans out, there may be some augmented reality artwork stuff that we can do.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, no, really great stuff. So I really like your NFT project. I'm glad we got a chance to cover it. I think I did mint one. I keep forgetting to tweet. Just like you, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. I was going to put
Yeah.
out this awesome tweet and I completely forgot because I always forget about everything. But seriously, this is a phenomenal project. And if you got any new alpha or anything, we definitely need to get you back on to talk about this. So be really
Happy to
awesome.
do it. Yeah,
Cool.
happy to do it.
Yes, sir. So let's go through a little see if we get any comments from Tech Dude. Wish my mom knew anything about crypto. She probably thinks it's just monopoly money. I
Oh,
like
my
that
mom
one.
does. My mom absolutely does. My dad has a little bit, and he still makes fun of it. And my mom just like literally like shakes her head when we start talking about it. She's like, "Y'all are crazy." So yeah, it's all good. But she supports. She still supports, and she's the best. So
Awesome.
shout out to mom.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so coming down. Shout out to our boy Zach, dude. Really great dude. He's saying you're a legend. Awesome,
Oh,
awesome
thank you,
stuff.
Zach. Appreciate
And
it.
and then we got House in the building. Awesome researcher.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's been doing a lot of stuff. He's the one that figured out like when the thing goes down, it goes up. Like it's crazy. So it's crazy.
Yeah, cool. So, question from Numerian: what are your thoughts on Tetra and PLUSD. So I'll start off and I'll let you do your thing. But I know Tetra are they actually all right? So Tetra's the protocol where they automate smart contracts. So let's say you want to buy PDI every week. You can set up a little model to do that with funds in your wallet. So in my opinion, Tetra, it's really great. It makes your investing process automated, easier, and simple to use and easy to understand. So I really like that. As for PLUSD, I was doing research. I don't know too much about it, but this one, I saw it the price go down, and then apparently you can make collateral using Pulsechain, and I don't know too much about it, so I stay away from it. Holonomics, do you have anything to add to that or any revelation behind these two tokens?
Yeah, so no, that Tetra sounds awesome. I get, I'm so wrapped up in what I have, but that sounds like a really cool platform. I've never necessarily researched it or anything, so I can't comment otherwise. And then yeah, PLUSD, again, not 100% sure. I've seen some stuff with minting. It just hasn't been the focus of what we're doing, and I haven't necessarily seen it tied to the greater ecosystem at all. So I'm not 100% sure exactly on that one, but I would just for me, I'm just sticking to the Atropa stuff for the most part.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, I agree. Very well put. All right, less banking.
NPRS, that's my OG.
PRS, yes. Yeah, we covered that last night, and the token exploded, dude. I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
that.
thank you for that. Yeah, it's crazy how it worked out. Freaking the admin there just made me, Zach, and less banking right there. Shout out to less banking. Just the admin, like on day one, we just all got it, and we were like, "Hey, cool," and we all kind of became friends, and now they're all in like the PDI. So it's funny how it played out, how it's kind of funneling into that now. The actual dev for that project like hit a home run with the admins. Not me, the other guy. The other guys are doing way more. But it's kind of magic, honestly, how it's all played out. Like it's very surreal. Like what the heck?
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So great question. So Tank, can you get Holonomics thoughts on wrapped ETH and wrapped BTC the closer PDI gets to peg? Could this be extremely bullish? What's your thoughts on this?
Ooh, well, yes. So this is an interesting thing, right? Like, and I have had this thought for a while. It's curious how to share this or whatever, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to share it regardless, whatever. But there is going to be a point, right, when the ROI on PDI becomes less than the ROI into things like wrap Bitcoin, into PLS and whatever. So it's going to be it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it all plays out. Absolutely. I think those are great plays. I don't quite think we're there, but I think, again, figure out your game theory, how you want to do it. All I'm going to say is there's going to be a period where the ROI on some of these other ones starts to actually flip because PDI has gone up so much. So, play that how you will. But, that's, of course, I'm going to hold a bunch to $1, but I'm definitely going to be swinging out and moving into some of these other ones and try to sprout the chain from places like that, and the primary tokens, PLS, PLSX, of course. And I even think Inc. is going to have something going on with all of this. I think that's a sleeper as well. So yeah, I'm super bullish on all of those. I mean, I'm freaking, who knows what could happen if an actual legit project from ETH decides to come over, like that would be, who knows, and who knows who could do that, right? And that's what's so fun about this. There's just so much speculation that could be had. There's so many different ways to go, and it's fun to be in and try to place little chips wherever you think is going to get you the most fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I will add to that is, the P wrap Bitcoin from my research is about 10% of the actual Bitcoin supply. It was like, I think it was 300 or in the 3 million. I think it was 327,000 or something like that. So to take this token up to parity doesn't take that much economic energy. And I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a narrative in the future. Like, it's speculation. But in my opinion, I think that one specifically is going to be a sleeper, not financial advice and all that stuff. But definitely a great point.
Holding. Yeah, I've got some PRAP BTC still from the OG Richard Heart call. I still held on to some of that. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think PRAP Bitcoin is going to be explosive when it's ready for it. So
absolutely. Cool. Let's make sure going down here. So Great question from Luis. How would it stay at $1 if it reaches that price? So I'm assuming he's going to say he's referring to PDI. So, Holonomics, do you want to jump on this and I'll give my thoughts after?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's loaded. We've been trying to figure this out for months, and there's a lot of different reasons and why we think that. But we've been seeing this liquidity backstop that's being built with Atropa. The Atropa and PDI pair has over 2.7 billion PDI in there right now. It's more than 10% of the supply, and it's growing. So whoever built this seemed to have the foresight that he knew that PDI was going to be low, and he was going to be able to scoop up a lot of it and then use that to support the ecosystem. So, and then also one of the researchers, it was Nutu, found out earlier today, there's about $1 million, I believe, in the down and legal pair. I don't want to say that, but we're finding $1 million liquidity pools that are just burned to infinity all across this ecosystem, right? Like it's going to be interesting we want to get an aggregate number on what that total market cap is. So there's already a collateral pool that exists, right? And so that's what people are kind of missing, is all of this money over here. And then what we're already seeing is once it goes, it depegs from where it's supposed to be. And what is it supposed to be right now? Like we don't know. We think it's working its way up to $1, but there are points where it stabilizes for a week at a time, and it kind of ranges in a certain area. But those bots will seem to use that liquidity from the chain, and then they'll come in and then they'll pump it up. But they also absorb the buy pressure to the upside. So if it goes too high, they're coming in and then making profit, and then they use it to add to the liquidity pairs. And then when they need to, they'll inject that liquidity back into it. So it seems to be the first, total value locked within an ecosystem that is supporting a stable coin. So that's how I think it's going to happen.
Interesting. Actually, on top of that, the Lido staked ETH. And we know that we had basically the MakerDAO vaults and anything Maker related transferred over to Lido DAO. Do you think there's ever going to be potentially staked ETH used as collateral for PDI, or is it somehow setting up? Like, what's your information on that? Because that's a big one.
So so the PDI, yes, so that's all being moved into the Atropa pairs from what we can see. So yeah, that's another mechanism. So gotcha. The Lido, so the Maker vaults got funneled to the Lido vaults, and the Lido vaults are being drained into different Atropa pairs, a PLS, and I believe Atropa Holdings, as kind of some sort of liquidity, collateral backstop for what they're doing. Now, there's only 2 wallets that we have seen that are able to do the minting function with Lido. But whenever they do it, they're essentially just depositing their wrap PLS. They get Lido, and then that wrap PLS that they deposit is like I said, being spread into these Atropa pools. So we've seen Maker involved, we've seen Lido involved. So that's 2 different decentralized protocols who have changed their stuff for Pulsechain, specifically for what looks to be a PDI and Atropa. So like, what the heck is going on? Like what? Like this is like multiple decentralized networks coming together to build like a freaking what is it when they come together? Like the Voltron? Oh. Is it Voltron?
Yeah, Voltron. Yeah,
Voltron. A freaking Voltron of like decentralization and stable coins that's just like unbreakable. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. It's just weird. Like who would be able to get both Lido and Maker to actually change their stuff? Like,
Yeah, that's just part of the mystery, because something like this has not ever happened before, and that's what's really cool about it. So, but yeah, man, awesome. I think I'll wrap it up. We're a little bit over an hour, so we've been going at this for a minute, but I just wanted to say this was a phenomenal live stream. We dove into a lot of really cool topics. I think it's going to be extremely beneficial for the community and people to come in and get your opinion and perspective on different things. I want to say thank you so much for coming on to the Verse crypto channel. Guys, if please sub over to him over x.com. Also, his name's highlighted in the title. You click on that, go straight to his YouTube channel. Throw him a sub on YouTube channel. You can follow him on @Hodlnomics. On x.com. Holonomics, do you have any last takes or anything else you want to say?
No, man, just again, Thursday, it was a great day. Happy to be on here. Happy to do it again. Let's do it again, maybe once a month or something. We'll see what's going on. And thank you for bringing me on. It was I'm really flattered by all kind words and just all the community support thus far, and excited, like very excited to see this thing play out over the next month, year, however long it takes, because it's already been fun, and we haven't even gotten to euphoria as far as I'm concerned. So it's gonna get crazy. So get ready, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just tweeted out today, if PDI hits a penny, I'm going to buy an ostrich. So I need to do some ostrich research after this live stream.
That was funny. That was funny. Got him.
Got him. Yeah, well, he started it. But regardless, really great live stream. And we definitely got to get you on in the future, man, whenever you get time. And if you got any more updates with PRC Pantheon, just like Zach, you always have an open invitation to come on the Verse Crypto channel and talk anything crypto you would like, dude. So thank you so much, guys. And so we're going to wrap this up, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.
Thank y'all.